Hello everyone and welcome to the frosting part of the cake making. I literally just finished making the cakes and they're still sitting on the stove cooling. And so while they're cooling, I'm going to be making the frosting. And it's going to take about half an hour for them to cool completely. So I'm going to set this timer for about half an hour. It's actually at exactly half an hour, so I'm going to put that right there so you can see. So when that timer goes off, those should be done cooling and then we can take them out of the pans. But until then, I'm going to be making the frosting. The frosting, you'll need a big bowl, and actually let me get out the ingredients and then I'll continue. Okay. Not putting that back out. Alright, I got everything out now. So the recipe is, I don't know why my throat's going all bad. It's weird. 6 cups of powdered sugar. I know that's a lot, but it does condense down a lot since powdered sugar is so light and airy, and we're adding liquids to it, meaning it's going to be condensed down a lot. It's going to make about 3 cups instead of 6 cups of the powdered sugar. It's going to make about 3 cups of powdered sugar. Frosting type stuff. So 6 cups of powdered sugar, 6 tablespoons of butter, and if you can see on your stick, if it doesn't have tablespoons like mine conveniently does down here, it's going to be, what would that be? A little bit less than half of a cup of butter. I'm not sure how much that will be. I'll measure it out so I know how much it's going to be, but I'm not sure how much it's going to be until I actually do that. 6 tablespoons of butter, preferably melted because it mixes a lot better when you melt your butter. And I'm just using unsalted butter because I just prefer unsalted butter for baking and stuff like that. 6 tablespoons of milk, 1 tablespoon of half and half. I'm just using half and half because, or I'm adding a little bit of half and half because I think it makes it a lot thicker of a frosting and it makes it turn out the way I want it. You don't have to use the half and half, it's optional, but it also gets down the sweetness of it a bit because we are using a lot of powdered sugar. Powdered sugar is very, very sweet, and I think adding in 1 tablespoon of half and half makes it a little bit less sweet than it originally is, because I prefer my frosting to be a little bit less on the sweeter side, not like buttercream. That's too sweet for me. And then 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla. Okay, so I need my tablespoon. That's half and my tablespoon. That's a teaspoon. That'll work though. I don't know where my tablespoon went. I put it away. I did. I put my tablespoon away. Okay. Tablespoon. And teaspoon. So. Yeah, I'm actually going to keep that out just in case I forget what I need to put in it. You're going to want to whisk all of these ingredients together. I just like whisking them together because I feel like it mixes them all together a lot better than if I wasn't to whisk them. So I'm just going to whisk them together and throw them in. First of all, you're going to want to put all of your powdered sugar in. I know it's a lot, but 6 cups of powdered sugar. Okay, 6 tablespoons of butter. I prefer to melt my butter before using it in anything, pretty much. And so I'm going to melt mine real fast. It looks like it's about 2.5 ounces of butter, ish. Yeah, about 2.5 ounces of butter. Tablespoons of milk. And I'm putting them in this bowl before putting them in here because if I miscount, I can always just dump this out or dump this back into here. and then I can recount instead of having to go, oh, how many did I actually put in if I mess it up putting it in there. So I'm going to put it in here first. 1 tablespoon of half and half. And then 1.5 tablespoons of vanilla. Okay, now this all goes into here, and then we mix. I'm going to be making my frosting orange. Right now it's just a white, a yellowish kind of white. An eggshell, that's what it is. But I'm going to be making mine orange. The other day I picked up a bunch of colors of icing color at Joann's Fabric and Crafts. Amazingly, they have baking stuff there. I picked up a bunch of food coloring, and this is by Wilson, I think. It doesn't have a brand name on it. But you can buy icing coloring, and it's flavorless, and it's very, very good to use. And you can you can also, like if there's a dark blue and you want a light blue, you can just pick up a light or dark blue shade, and then you can just add in however much you want, and then it will make it a lighter shade. So I'm going to add in just a little bit of the orange. That's the type of orange that I want. You can't really see it with the light because the light's shining like right on it. It is a pretty dark orange, and so I'm going to keep that. And I'm going to frost my cake with that. And I think I want to do blue polka dots too. So I'm going to make a third of the batch. Yeah, I'm going to make a third of a batch of the frosting, and then I'm going to do coloring that one blue because I want a blue polka dot frosting. Done. Yay. Kind of made a mess all over the counter though, so. About 5 minutes left until I'm going to take those out, the cakes. While that 5 minutes is going, I'm going to clean, because I made a bit of a mess. Means they're ready to be taken out. There we go. Alright, now it's on the bottom, and on the bottom I have parchment. It's the cake, parchment paper, and then the bottom of the springform pan. So I'm going to lift the parchment paper up, out of the springform pan's bottom without crushing the cake. Actually, I need this. Okay, and then you're going to want this, some sort of round mat to place the cake on. And then gently take the cake off of the parchment paper. This is still warm, so I'm gonna let this sit here for about another 30 minutes. And while it's doing that, I'm gonna go do stuff, because I have stuff I need to be doing. So actually I'm gonna let them sit for another 30 minutes. Alright, now this should be done. Thanks for waiting. Now it should be nice and cool. So, I'm guessing they're done? Or I know that they're done. I just have to make sure that they're cool if we're actually taking them off, or else they will like split open. That's not good. Ever with cake. I did it! Yay! Kind of. Well, there. Okay, now, let's get my frostings out of the fridge. I'm going to take the orange frosting out. I'm going to leave the blue frosting in right now because I don't need it until, not for a while. Because I put this in the fridge, it's all stiff, and so I'm going to have to stir it all around to make sure that it heats up a bit. So that way it's usable. So we just want to spread this around on the cake. But don't put too much in the middle because it still has to go around the outside. We're not going to do the sides yet. We're going to add on the next layer and then we're going to frost the sides. So right now, just frost the top. If you've already frosted the sides, it's fine. It's just a harder thing to do. It's just harder to put on the top layer correctly if you frost the sides. There we go. There. Now I'm going to want to frost the sides, but I have cake all over my hands, so I'm going to wash my hands again. Now, depending on what you want your cake to be shaped like, or if you care what it's shaped like, or if you want the straight edges, you can cut the crust off of the cake and like cut all the brown stuff off of the cake. I'm not going to do that though, because last time I did that, I got crumbs everywhere. And it was super hard to frost the cake. And so I'm not going to do that this time. I am just going to frost it without cutting off the edges. tool to put frosting on the side of the cake and smooth it out. This is just for putting lumps onto the cake and then kind of rubbing it around a little bit. This is specially made to make the cake look pretty after you put all the frosting on. And then I'm going to do a blue polka dot on it. I've already put my tip inside of my piping bag. I was doing that while the cakes were cooling, I think. I don't remember when I did it. I did it a while ago. I think I did it on screen too. But I put my tip inside of my piping bag already. So now I'm just going to have to put icing inside. And then this is another good reason for putting down the parchment paper is now I can test out the tip. So that way I don't have to do it on the cake. I can test out the tip on the parchment paper instead of like on a paper towel or something because I already have the parchment paper down. I can use it. I should probably move those pans so you can see what I'm doing. Here we go. I think it's funny how this bag has a fill line on it, but I always fill it past the fill line. I don't see what the fill line's for though. There. Okay, so it's now I know what it's going to create. There. It looks so pretty now, and I did make a lot of extra frosting, but this is like I third of the recipe for the frosting, and it made about a big bag of frosting. So, yeah, if you want to have just a regular full bag of frosting for decorations and stuff, just do a third of the recipe that I gave you before. And then another nice thing about having extras, you can always just eat it. And eating frosting is delicious. Also very fattening, so. Yeah, I'm very satisfied with how the decorations came out. It looks really nice. I think I'm doing another row down here. There. It's all done. Yay! It's done. And that was how to make a cake and frost it with the Anthony Demands. Yay. Alright. Bye! Bye bye! Bye bye! Bye! Wait, bye! There. Bye! Bye! I'm getting such a door. Bye! Now I have to clean up. Fun part.